Come in. Close the door behind you. It's loud out there in the world today, isn't it? You found this place for a reason. Maybe your heart is heavy. Maybe you feel lost in the storm. Or maybe you are just tired of the noise. Whatever you are carrying right now, put it down by the door. You won't need it here. For the next 20 minutes, this is your sanctuary. I have gathered the 9 most powerful ancient scrolls from across the world, from the palaces of Jerusalem to the mountains of China. These are not just bedtime stories. They are medicine. They have healed millions of souls before you, and tonight, they are here for you. So, get comfortable, take a deep breath, and let it out. Let's begin with a king who had everything, yet felt nothing. Once, King Solomon, the wisest and wealthiest man on earth, felt a deep sadness he could not shake. He sat on his throne, surrounded by gold, yet his heart felt empty and heavy. He realized that wealth could not buy peace. He called his most trusted advisor and gave him an impossible task. "I need a ring," Solomon said, "but not just any ring. It must have a special power. When I am happy, looking at it should make me sad. But when I am sad, looking at it should make me happy." The advisor searched the entire kingdom. He walked through bustling markets and visited the finest goldsmiths. But no one had heard of such a ring. Days turned into weeks, and he lost hope. Finally, in a dusty corner of Jerusalem, he met an old, humble jeweler. The advisor explained the king's request. The old mystic listened silently, smiled, and picked up a plain silver band. With a steady hand, the mystic etched 3 Hebrew words onto the ring. He handed it to the advisor and said, "Give this to the king. It is all he needs." When the advisor returned, Solomon took the ring. He read the inscription, "Gam ze ya'avor." This too shall pass. Tears filled his eyes. In that moment, his sadness lifted, replaced by a deep, quiet peace. He understood that his pain was temporary, but so was his joy. The ring became his greatest treasure, reminding him to embrace every fleeting moment of life. We learned from the king that pain is temporary. This too shall pass. But there is another trap we fall into, the trap of judging our fate too quickly. We look at our life and say, "This is a disaster," or "My life is ruined." But do we really know the whole picture? In the misty mountains of ancient China, there lived an old farmer who knew a secret about luck. This old man had a magnificent white horse. Even the emperor wanted to buy it, but the old man always refused. He said, "This horse is not a possession. He is a friend." One morning, the stable was empty. The horse was gone. The villagers gathered and said, "You old fool! We knew it would be stolen. What a curse! What bad luck!" The old farmer looked at them calmly and said, "Don't speak too soon. Say only that the horse is not in the stable. That is the fact. Everything else is a judgment. Is it a curse or a blessing? Who knows?" A week later, the horse returned. He had not been stolen. He had run to the wild. And he didn't come back alone. He brought 12 wild horses with him. The villagers gathered again, shouting, "You were right. It was not a curse. It was a great blessing." The old man replied, "Again, you go too far. Say only that the horse is back. Is it a blessing? Who knows?" The farmer's son began to train the wild horses, but a week later he fell and broke his leg badly. The villagers sighed. "Oh, what a tragedy! Your only son is crippled. Who will help you now? What bad luck!" The old man answered, "You are obsessed with judgment. Say only that my son broke his leg. Is it bad luck or good luck? Life comes in fragments. We never see the whole picture." A few weeks later, the country went to war. The army came to the village and took every young man to the front lines. It was a brutal war, and most of them died. But they did not take the farmer's son because of his broken leg. The neighbors were crying, but the old farmer smiled. "You see," he said, "the journey is not over. Unless you know the end of the story, how can you judge the page you are on?" So, my friend, if you are going through a hard time right now, maybe, just maybe, it is saving you from something worse. We learn to accept that we don't know the future. But what if the danger is right in front of you, right now? How do you find peace when you are hanging by a thread? There is a famous Zen story about a traveler, a tiger, and a sweet red berry. A man was walking across a lonely field when he saw a tiger roaring and charging at him. Terrified, the man ran as fast as he could, but he came to the edge of a steep cliff. The tiger was right behind him. With no other choice, he grabbed a thick vine and swung himself over the edge. He hung there, dangling in the air. Above him, the tiger snarled, waiting for him to climb up. He looked down. Far below, at the bottom of the canyon, another tiger was waiting for him to fall. He was trapped, caught between death above and death below. Then he noticed something. Two little mice, one white and one black, started gnawing on the vine he was holding. Crack, crack. The vine was getting thinner. His time was running out. But right there, growing out of the cliff face, he saw a small wild strawberry plant. It had one single perfect red berry. Holding the vine with one hand, he reached out and plucked the strawberry. He put it in his mouth. He closed his eyes and smiled. How sweet it tasted. The tigers are the past and the future. The mice are day and night, eating away our life. But the strawberry? That is the present moment. No matter how desperate your situation is, there is always a sweetness to be found right here, right now. Don't let the tigers steal the taste of your strawberry. We have learned to find sweetness even when hanging from a cliff. But often the storms do not come from nature. They come from other people. Someone insults us. Someone cuts us off. Someone hurts us. And we burn with anger. But the masters tell us, the anger is never about them. It is about you. A monk decided to meditate alone. He took a small boat out to the middle of a misty lake. He closed his eyes and found perfect silence. Suddenly, bam! Another boat struck his, shaking him violently. Rage filled him. He opened his eyes, ready to scream at the careless boatman who ruined his peace. But when he looked, he froze. The other boat was empty. It had just drifted downstream with the current. In that moment, the monk realized something profound. The anger was not caused by the boat. The anger was already inside him. The boat just woke it up. If there had been a man in that boat, he would have yelled. But because it was empty, his anger had nowhere to go. Remember this: everyone who makes you angry is just an empty boat, drifting in the wind of their own karma. Don't let them steal your peace. But what happens if we hold on to that anger? There is a fable about a snake who entered a carpenter's workshop at night. As the snake crawled across the floor, it accidentally slithered over a saw blade. The sharp teeth cut its belly slightly. Instinctively, the snake thought the saw was attacking him. He snapped around and bit the saw hard. Blood poured from his mouth. Now, blinded by rage, the snake decided to suffocate this enemy. He wrapped his body tightly around the saw and squeezed with all his might. The more he squeezed, the deeper the cuts went. In the end, the snake killed himself, fighting a piece of metal that never cared about him at all. So, we have a choice. Inside us, there is a battle. An old Cherokee chief once told his grandson about this battle. He said, "My son, the fight is between two wolves inside of you. One is evil. It is anger, envy, sorrow, regret, greed, and arrogance. The other is good. It is joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, and kindness." The grandson thought about it for a minute and then asked his grandfather, "Which wolf will win?" The old chief simply replied, "The one you feed." So, which wolf are you feeding right now? Take a breath. Let the anger starve. Let the peace grow. Now that the storm of anger has passed, look around. We spend our lives running, climbing, and fighting. We want more money, more respect, more power. But have you ever stopped to ask, why? What is the prize at the end of the race? There is a modern parable about a businessman who thought he knew the answer. An American investment banker was at the pier of a small coastal Mexican village when a small boat with just one fisherman docked. Inside the boat were several large yellowfin tuna. The American complimented the Mexican on the quality of his fish and asked how long it took to catch them. The Mexican replied, "Only a little while." The American asked, "Why didn't you stay out longer and catch more fish?" The fisherman smiled, "Because I have enough to feed my family and share with my friends." The American asked, "But what do you do with the rest of your time?" The fisherman said, "I sleep late, fish a little, play with my children, take siestas with my wife, and stroll into the village each evening where I sip wine and play guitar with my amigos. I have a full and happy life." The American scoffed. "Look, I have an MBA from Harvard, and I can help you. You should spend more time fishing. With the proceeds, buy a bigger boat. With the proceeds from the bigger boat, you could buy several boats. Eventually, you would have a fleet. Then, instead of selling to a middleman, you would sell directly to the processor, eventually opening your own cannery. You would control the product, processing, and distribution. You would leave this small village and move to Mexico City, then LA, and finally New York City, where you will run your expanding enterprise." The Mexican fisherman asked, "But, Señor, how long will this all take?" 15 to 20 years. "But what then?" asked the Mexican. The American laughed and said, "That's the best part. When the time is right, you would announce an IPO and sell your company's stock to the public and become very rich. You would make millions." "Millions? Okay," said the fisherman. "Then what?" The American said, "Then you would retire, move to a small coastal fishing village where you would sleep late, fish a little, play with your kids, take siestas with your wife, and stroll to the village in the evenings to play guitar with your amigos." The fisherman looked at him and smiled. "But, Señor, isn't that exactly what I'm doing right now?" Now that the storm of anger has passed, look around. We spend our lives running, climbing, and fighting. We want more money, more respect, more power. But have you ever stopped to ask, why? What is the prize at the end of the race? There is a modern parable about a businessman who thought he knew the answer. We often chase things we don't need because we envy others. There's an old Japanese legend about a stonecutter who was never happy with who he was. One day he saw a wealthy merchant pass by. He felt envious and wished he could be that rich. Suddenly his wish was granted. He became a powerful merchant. But soon he saw a high official carried in a sedan chair, feared by everyone. The merchant envied him. "I wish to be that official," he cried. And he became the high official. But the official was hot under the summer sun. He looked up and saw the sun shining proudly, untouched by anyone. "I wish to be the sun." And he became the sun, burning down on the earth. But soon a great black cloud covered him and blocked his light. "The cloud is stronger. I wish to be the cloud." And he became the cloud, flooding the fields with rain. But the cloud was pushed away by a fierce wind. "The wind is stronger. I wish to be the wind." And he became the wind, blowing trees down. But he blew against a huge rock, and the rock did not move. "The rock is stronger than the wind. I wish to be the rock." And he became the mountain stone. Powerful, unmovable. He felt invincible, until he heard a sound. Clink, clink, clink. He looked down and saw a humble stonecutter chipping away at his base with a hammer and chisel. The stonecutter was changing the shape of the mountain, and the mountain realized the strongest of them all was the stonecutter. You are already enough. You are looking for power outside, but the true power is already in your hands. Do not trade your reality for a dream that ends where you started. We have traveled a long way tonight. We learned to let go of the past, to empty our boat of anger, and to stop chasing illusions of success. But sometimes, when we look at the world, we feel small. We think, the world is too big, and I am too weak. Does my life even matter? Listen to this final story. An old man was walking along a beach at dawn. The storm had just passed, and the tide had washed up thousands of starfish onto the sand. As far as the eye could see, the beach was covered in them. They were drying out in the sun, dying. In the distance, the old man saw a boy. The boy was running back and forth. He would pick up a starfish, run to the water, and throw it back into the ocean. Then he would run back, pick up another, and throw it. The old man walked up to him and asked, "Child, what are you doing? Look at this beach. There are thousands of starfish here." You have been doing this for hours, but you have barely made a dent. You can't save them all. Don't you realize that what you are doing doesn't matter?" The boy stopped. He looked down at the starfish in his hand. Then he looked up at the old man, smiled, and threw the starfish deep into the waves. "Well," the boy said, "it mattered to that one." My friend, do not let the size of the world paralyze you. You don't have to save everyone. You don't have to fix everything. Just do what you can for the person standing right in front of you. That is enough. The fire is dying down now. The storm outside has passed. Thank you for sitting by my hearth tonight. If these stories brought you peace, you are always welcome here. Subscribe to the channel so you can find your way back to this fire whenever you need it. Rest well, and remember, this too shall pass.